Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a good day today. I hope my those who attended Jake Asman's playoff watch party arrived home safe and sound yesterday. I really do. Um, I sure did, as you guys can tell. But I just want to make sure all you guys who showed up to the draft party arrived home safe and sound. Anyways, today I'm going to give you guys probably a video that hopefully you guys find interesting and something to talk about amongst yourselves. Uh, I know I talked about players who never played for the Jets that I've liked, but I'm going to give you guys some more uh, players that didn't start off their careers with or never really played for the Jets at all that I've really liked and respected. The first player I really want to talk about is one of the greatest wide receivers of all time and one of the greatest players to ever play for the Houston Texans in Andre Johnson. And FYI, he is my favorite wide receiver of all time. And I'll be happy to explain why. But, this guy was a first round draft pick of the Houston Texans back in the 2003 NFL draft. And for a period of time, this guy was regarded as the quintessential elite receiver in the NFL. He was considered by a lot of people, especially by fans, for a period of time as the best receiver in football. And he dominated defense, especially secondaries, cornerbacks, safeties, the whole 9 yards, despite not having a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback to throw him the ball. I mean, sure you can. I'm talking about specifically with the Houston Texans now. The best quarterback he had throwing him the ball in Houston was Matt Schaub, who was a pretty solid quarterback in Houston for a while before 2013, where he kept throwing interceptions, where he kept throwing pick sixes to the other team. But yeah, Andre Johnson did this without a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback throwing him the ball. He spent much of his career dominating defenses without having much of a Hall of Fame quarterback throw him the ball. Calvin Johnson had Matthew Stafford, who I do think is a Hall of Fame quarterback, but that's for a different video for another time. But you got, Michael Irvin had Troy Aikman. Jerry Rice had Steve Young and Joe Montana. Don Maynard had Joe Namath. Cliff Branch and Fred Biletnikoff had Ken Stabler. Right? You guys get what I'm saying. Uh, you know, John Stallworth and Lynn Swann had Terry Bradshaw. You guys should know what I'm talking about. But Andre Johnson, he was just a dominant receiver. I said, similar to Calvin, he was big, he was strong, he was fast, and to some degree, freakishly athletic. He was just that damn good of a wide receiver. The next up on the list is another Houston Texans legend. That's Arian Foster. In my opinion, one of the better undrafted free agents in NFL history. He was a very good running back. He could run inside. He could run the football. He can catch out of the backfield. Unfortunately, injuries derailed what would have been a potential Hall of Fame career. But yeah, I thought he was a damn good running back, especially with the Houston Texans. The next up on the list is a guy that many people regard as one of the most underrated, underappreciated players in NFL history. A guy that won a Super Bowl with the Rams in '99, played a few years in Buffalo, and finished his career on a high level with Washington, and that's London Fletcher. I really enjoyed watching London linebacker, an excellent linebacker, especially in the middle of the defense. I thought he was an excellent football player, and I definitely do think he should be considered for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The next guy on the list is a pass rushing, a freakishly dominant defensive end, outside linebacker, if you will. I think he was mostly a defensive end. I think he was pretty much a defensive end his entire career, but he was a damn good football player. In 2013, he set a then Rams record for most sacks in a season with 19 before and he did that the year before the Rams drafted Aaron Donald, and that's Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn was a hell of a football player, was one of those dominant All-American defensive players that North Carolina was producing. You know, that's the same college, FYI, that Lawrence Taylor and Julius Peppers went to. And both these guys are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and for good reason. Um, but yeah, I mean, um, Robert Quinn was a beast. I had a lot of fun watching him when I was able to, of course. Just consistently dominate the offensive line, especially the tackles. I mean, he was big, he was strong, he was fast, and freakishly athletic. Freakishly athletic. If my memory serves, I've heard that this guy was also, Robert Quinn was also a really good wrestler in high school, which is something to really talk about. If I don't say so myself, would go show you that this guy is really, really strong. And, but man, he was fast off the ball. He was fast off the ball. Um, he was phenomenally athletic. And then, of course, in 2021, he set a franchise record for sacks in the season for the Bears with 18 and a half. So I think he's a damn good. I think he's a future Hall of Famer. That's, of course, just my opinion, of course. Um, and to end this video, the final non-New York Jets player that I really enjoyed watching was hmm the final non-New York Jet player that I really loved and respected was Champ Bailey. Arguably one of the top five, top three cornerbacks in NFL history. I think the man has been somewhat disrespected and underappreciated over the years. I know he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. I know people know he's a first, but I think a lot of people have kind of have somewhat forgotten how great he was. I mean, he played, was it from 98, 99? I mean, this guy was a dominant football player. He was great in Washington, and he was amazing with the Broncos. And it's such a shame, really, because the year after he retired, the Broncos won the Super Bowl. It's like this man, he was one of those guys you really loved and respected. He dominated the game very well. He did it the right way. I never really recalled him being one of those assholes. I never really recalled him being a trash talker all that much. That, of course, I could be wrong, but he was usually one of the more respected NFL players of his generation, and he was a hell of a player, man. I mean, he was an absolute stud. I'd say, other than Darrelle Revis, he was probably the best cornerback I had the pleasure of watching. He was a great football player, and similar to Revis, he followed the team's number one receiver. He never stayed on his side of the field, so he was just insane. Uh, that is it for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.